The air around certain people can feel off. Not just quiet, not just shy, but thick with an unspoken something you can't quite name. It's that gnawing feeling, that subtle discord that makes you question your own sanity. Is it just awkwardness? Are they having a bad day? Or is that weird behavior a carefully veiled transmission of something far colder, actual hidden dislike? We're going beyond the polite fictions society demands, beyond the masks people wear, their meticulously crafted personas, to dissect the unsettling truth. Because navigating this world, protecting your energy, and forging genuine connections demands you become fluent in the unspoken language of the human shadow. If you're tired of feeling confused, drained, or blindsided by the subtle hostilities of others, if you're ready to stop second-guessing your intuition and start seeing people for who they truly are beneath the surface, then you're in the right place. This isn't about paranoia, it's about perception. It's about developing the emotional intelligence to recognize the often unconscious signals of aversion, the projections of another's inner turmoil, so you can reclaim your peace and invest your precious energy wisely. Today, we decode the unsettling dance of hidden dislike. First, let's clear the fog. There's a universe of difference between someone who is genuinely socially awkward and someone whose behavior is a smokescreen for animosity. The awkward individual often feels the discomfort as much, if not more, than you do. Their stumbles are born of anxiety, perhaps a lack of social calibration or simple introversion. Their energy, though perhaps clumsy, isn't usually barbed. You might feel a sense of sympathy, or even a desire to put them at ease. Their weirdness is often self-directed, an internal struggle made visible. But the weird behavior that signals dislike, that's different. It carries a subtle charge, a faint chill. It's less about their discomfort and more about creating yours. This isn't always a conscious, villainous plot. Often it's the leakage of their own shadow self, those disowned parts, the envies, insecurities, and resentments they can't or won't acknowledge. Carl Jung taught us about the persona, the social mask we present to the world. When dislike simmers beneath that mask, the persona can crack, leading to these weird behaviors, inconsistencies, and subtle aggressions that betray the managed facade. They might not even be fully aware of the extent of their negativity, but their unconscious mind finds a way to broadcast it. They might smile, they might say the right things, but the undercurrent is one of repulsion, dismissal, or even contempt. Understanding this distinction is the first step to self-protection. You stop making excuses for behavior that actively undermines or disrespects you, and you start trusting that disquieting whisper in your gut. It's not about condemning them, it's about clearly seeing the dynamic for what it is so you can choose how, or even if, you engage. Now let's delve into the specific, often subtle pillars that uphold the architecture of hidden dislike. These are the patterns that, when observed consistently, strip away the ambiguity and reveal the truth lurking beneath the surface weirdness. Pillar number 1, the dance of inconsistent engagement. This isn't about someone being occasionally busy or a bit forgetful. This is a pattern of hot and cold, of presence and pointed absence that leaves you perpetually off balance. One day they might be incredibly engaging, responsive, even warm. They might mirror your enthusiasm, participate actively in conversations, and make you feel seen. Then just as you start to feel a sense of connection or rapport, the temperature plummets. They become distant, dismissive, or suddenly unavailable. Texts go unanswered for days, emails are ignored, or their contributions to shared projects or conversations become curt and perfunctory. Think about someone in a personal development circle or an accountability group. One week, they're your biggest cheerleader, praising your insights, offering resources. The next, when you share a significant breakthrough or a vulnerable struggle, they offer a one-word reply or worse, complete silence. Or they might feign engagement, but their eyes are vacant, their MHMMS devoid of genuine interest. This isn't just them having a lot on their plate. It's often a manifestation of their internal conflict. Perhaps your progress triggers their own insecurities or envy, their shadow self recoils. So they engage when they feel in control or superior and withdraw when your light shines too brightly for their comfort. The weirdness here is the jarring inconsistency. An awkward person might be consistently quiet or hesitant. Someone who dislikes you but is trying to hide it will often oscillate. This yo-yo engagement is a subtle form of manipulation, whether conscious or not. It keeps you guessing, makes you try harder, and subtly communicates that your worth in their eyes is conditional and fluctuating. They are, in essence, training you to crave their approval, to walk on eggshells. The consequence of ignoring this is a slow erosion of your self-esteem. You start to internalize their inconsistency, wondering, what did I do wrong? Why are they acting this way now? You expend enormous energy trying to decipher their moods and win back their fleeting approval. The brutal truth is their behavior is rarely about you and almost always about their own internal landscape, their own unacknowledged dislikes and discomforts. Recognizing this pattern is the first step to disengaging from this depleting dance. You stop chasing their validation and start observing their behavior as data, information about them, not a reflection of your worth. Pillar number 2, the art of the veiled undermined. This is where dislike gets insidious, cloaking itself in the guise of helpfulness, humor, or even concern. These are the backhanded compliments, the constructive criticism that feels more destructive than constructive, the subtle downplaying of your achievements, or the convenient forgetfulness regarding things that are important to you. Imagine a colleague or a friend in your field. You share a recent success, a project completed, a piece of recognition, a personal milestone in your self-improvement journey. Instead of genuine congratulations, you get something like, "Oh, that's great for you. I'm surprised you managed that with everything else you've got going on," with a tone that implies you're barely competent. Or, "Wow, you finally finished that journaling challenge. I didn't think you had it in you. Good for you, I guess." The compliment is there technically, but it's laced with a barb, a subtle dig designed to take the wind out of your sails. This can also manifest as helpful advice that subtly steers you towards failure or discourages you from ambitious pursuits. "Are you sure you want to apply for that promotion? It's a lot of work and you seem stressed already." It sounds like concern, but the underlying message might be, "I don't want you to succeed," or "I don't think you're capable." They might forget to pass on crucial information that would have helped you, or accidentally leave you out of an important email chain. This is distinct from awkward, blunt feedback. Awkward feedback, while perhaps poorly delivered, often comes from a place of genuine, if clumsy, intent to help. The veiled undermine, however, has a feeling of targeted negativity. It's calculated, even if unconsciously, to make you doubt yourself, to shrink your ambitions, to keep you small. This is classic frenemy territory, where the smile hides a sneer. It's their shadow, their envy or resentment, seeping out in socially acceptable ways. Ignoring these subtle sabotages is like letting someone slowly poison your well of confidence. Each little dig, each downplayed achievement, chips away at your self-belief. You might start to internalize their narrative, believing you're not good enough, not capable enough. Recognizing it, however, is empowering. You see the barb for what it is, a reflection of their insecurity, not your inadequacy. You learn to deflect it, to not let it penetrate. You might even, with practice, call it out directly but calmly. "That sounded like a compliment, but the way you said it felt a bit like a criticism. What did you mean by that?" Watch them squirm. Their persona isn't built for direct confrontation of its shadow elements. Pillar number 3, the energetic signature of aversion. This is perhaps the most crucial yet often dismissed sign, how someone makes you feel on a consistent basis. Your intuition, your gut feeling, is an incredibly sophisticated piece of emotional intelligence hardware. When someone secretly dislikes you, even if their words are polite and their actions superficially appropriate, there's often an energetic dissonance, a palpable coldness or tension in their presence. You might find yourself feeling inexplicably drained after interacting with them. It's like their unexpressed negativity acts as an energetic leech, sapping your vitality. You might feel consistently on edge, a subtle sense of anxiety or defensiveness welling up when they're around, even if you can't pinpoint a specific offensive action. It's that feeling of being subtly unseen or unheard, even when they're looking right at you and nodding. Their attention feels superficial, their presence hollow. Think about walking into a room. Sometimes, even before anyone speaks, you can sense the mood: tension, joy, sadness. This is similar. The person who dislikes you but is masking it broadcasts their aversion on an energetic frequency. Their shadow, their repressed animosity, creates a kind of psychic static. An awkward person might make you feel a bit awkward with them, a shared discomfort. But a person who dislikes you can make you feel bad about yourself, or just vaguely unwell in their vicinity. Carl Jung spoke of the collective unconscious, but on a more personal level, we are constantly exchanging nonverbal energetic information. When someone's internal state is steeped in negativity towards you, you pick up on it, whether you consciously register it or not. The weirdness is that their outward behavior doesn't match this internal broadcast. They smile, but you feel a chill. They agree, but you sense resistance. Ignoring this energetic signature is a betrayal of your deepest knowing. You override your intuition with logic, but they said they were happy for me, or they offered to help, so they must like me. This creates cognitive dissonance and chronic stress. Learning to trust this feeling is paramount. If someone consistently leaves you feeling drained, anxious, or diminished, regardless of their words or superficial actions, that is valuable data. It's your internal alarm system warning you that something is amiss in the dynamic. Protecting your energy means learning to limit exposure to these energetically toxic individuals, even if you can't articulate a rational reason that would satisfy a courtroom. Your feelings are reason enough. Journaling about these interactions can help you spot the pattern. Every time I talk to X, I feel drained, anxious, small, confused afterwards, even when they are being nice. Pillar number 4, the silent screams of body language. Words can lie, but the body rarely does, at least not convincingly over time. While someone attempting to hide their dislike might manage a polite smile or a friendly tone, their deeper aversion often leaks out through nonverbal cues. These are the silent screams that betray their true feelings. We're not just talking about obvious signs like frowning or turning away. The signals can be much more subtle, existing in the realm of microexpressions and habitual postures specifically directed towards you. Watch for fleeting expressions of contempt, a slight one-sided lift of the lip, disgust, a wrinkle of the nose, or anger, a tightening of the jaw, narrowed eyes that flash across their face for a fraction of a second when they think you're not looking, or right after a seemingly positive interaction. Consider their eye contact. Is it consistently evasive when you're talking about something important to you? Or conversely, is it too intense, almost predatory, lacking genuine warmth? Do their smiles fail to reach their eyes, creating that dead-eyed effect? When you share good news, do their eyes flicker with something other than joy before they arrange their features into a congratulatory expression? Observe their posture and proximity. Do they consistently angle their body away from you, even when engaged in conversation? Do they create unnecessary physical distance, subtly leaning back or positioning objects between you? Is their posture closed off, arms crossed, shoulders hunched, specifically when interacting with you but more open with others? A handshake might be limp and brief, conveying a lack of connection or even repulsion. An awkward person might avoid eye contact out of shyness or have generally fidgety body language with everyone. The key with someone who dislikes you is the inconsistency and specificity of these signals. They might be perfectly relaxed and open with others, but their body language shifts demonstrably when they interact with you. Their verbal script says friend, but their body screams foe. Ignoring these signals means you're missing a huge part of the communication. You're trying to build a connection based on words while their entire being is broadcasting rejection. This is profoundly confusing and unsettling. Paying attention to these nonverbal cues and trusting them provides crucial insight into their true feelings. It's about becoming a student of human behavior, recognizing that the body often reveals what the conscious mind tries to conceal, especially the uncomfortable truths of the shadow. This awareness allows you to calibrate your own responses, to not overinvest where there's clear nonverbal evidence of dislike. Pillar number 5, the evasion maneuver, masters of deflection and avoidance. People who secretly dislike you but want to maintain a facade of civility or even friendship often become incredibly skilled at evasion and deflection. They avoid directness, sidestep meaningful connection, and expertly change the subject when conversations veer towards topics that might expose their true feelings or require genuine engagement with your successes, struggles, or emotions. Imagine you're trying to have a genuine conversation about your progress on a personal goal, something you're excited or passionate about. As you start sharing, they might abruptly change the subject to something trivial, complain about their own unrelated problems, or suddenly remember an urgent task. Or if you try to address a subtle tension you've noticed between you, they'll dismiss it, laugh it off, or even make you feel like you're being overly sensitive or imagining things. Don't be silly, everything's fine. They'll say, even as the air crackles with unspoken resentment. They are often chronically busy when it comes to spending one-on-one time with you or engaging in activities that would deepen your connection, yet they seem to have ample time for others. Invitations are met with vague excuses, plans are consistently canceled at the last minute, or they'll agree to things but then participate with a palpable lack of enthusiasm. This isn't the occasional distraction or busyness of a normal life. This is a consistent pattern of avoidance specifically targeted at meaningful interaction with you. An awkward person might struggle to articulate themselves or feel uncomfortable in deep conversations generally, but they don't usually engage in such calculated and consistent deflection. The person who dislikes you uses evasion as a shield. It allows them to maintain proximity without intimacy, to keep up appearances without investing genuine emotional energy. Their persona is designed for superficial interaction, and deeper engagement threatens to reveal the shadow dislike lurking beneath. The consequence of tolerating this is a relationship built on sand, devoid of real substance or mutual support. You're left feeling perpetually unheard, unimportant, and confused by their elusiveness. Recognizing this pattern of evasion is liberating. You stop trying to pin them down, stop seeking depth where none is offered. You understand that their avoidance is a message in itself, a clear, albeit passive, signal of their lack of interest or their discomfort with genuine connection with you. This frees you to invest your time and emotional energy in people who are willing and able to meet you on a level of authentic exchange. Pillar number 6, the poison chalice, help that harms. This is one of the most manipulative and damaging forms of hidden dislike. It's when someone offers help, advice, or support that is subtly designed to hinder your progress, make you dependent, or set you up for failure, all under the guise of benevolence. Their actions appear helpful on the surface, but the outcome is detrimental to you. Consider someone on a similar self-improvement path or career trajectory. They might offer you insider tips or shortcuts that, if followed, would actually lead you astray or damage your reputation. Oh, you don't really need to focus on that foundational stuff, they might say, guiding you away from crucial learning, perhaps because they themselves haven't mastered it, or worse, because they don't want you to surpass them. Or they might volunteer to take on a task for you, only to do it poorly, late, or in a way that reflects badly on you, all while maintaining an air of "I was just trying to help." This can also manifest as advice that plays on your insecurities. If you're struggling with self-doubt, they might offer comfort that actually reinforces your negative self-beliefs. Well, maybe this just isn't for you. Not everyone is cut out for your goal. It sounds sympathetic, but it's a subtle encouragement to give up. This kind of help is distinct from well-intentioned but misguided advice from an awkward or inexperienced person. The hallmark of the poison chalice is a pattern of their assistance, consistently leading to negative outcomes for you, often while making them look good or feel superior. It's a subtle form of sabotage, driven by envy, resentment, or a desire for control. Their shadow self revels in your stumbles, especially if they can orchestrate them while wearing the mask of a caring friend or mentor. Ignoring this pattern is incredibly dangerous. You can waste time, energy, and resources pursuing dead ends based on their guidance. You can have your confidence systematically dismantled. Recognizing the poison chalice requires sharp discernment and a willingness to question the motives behind even seemingly kind gestures, especially if there's a consistent pattern of negative results. Trust your gut. If advice feels off, if help comes with too many strings or consistently makes things worse, it's time to politely decline their generosity. True support empowers you. It doesn't subtly trip you up. This is about protecting your journey of transformation from those who would secretly prefer you stay stuck. Pillar number 7, the whispers and walls, gossip, triangulation, and social exclusion. When someone harbors secret dislike but lacks the courage or self-awareness to address it directly or simply disengage, they may resort to more indirect forms of aggression. This often involves how they talk about you to others or how they subtly manipulate social dynamics to isolate or disadvantage you. They might engage in subtle gossip, not necessarily spreading outright lies, but sharing unflattering anecdotes, misrepresenting your intentions, or highlighting your flaws to mutual acquaintances. They might frame it as concern. "I'm a bit worried about your name." They seem to be struggling making poor choices, but the intent is to subtly tarnish your image or sow seeds of doubt in others' minds about you. Triangulation is another common tactic. Instead of communicating directly with you about an issue, real or perceived, they will talk to a third party, attempting to get that person on their side or to relay negative messages indirectly. This creates an us versus them dynamic and avoids the discomfort of direct confrontation for the dislicker. It also serves to validate their negative feelings by recruiting allies. Social exclusion can also be a powerful, albeit passive, weapon. They might consistently forget to invite you to group gatherings they organize or subtly steer conversations and activities in a way that leaves you on the periphery. This isn't just about missing out on a party. It's about the consistent, subtle message that you don't belong, that you're not valued within that social sphere, at least not by them. An awkward person might inadvertently say something tactless or be clumsy in social situations, but they don't usually engage in systematic, targeted campaigns of social undermining. The person who secretly dislikes you uses these tactics to diminish your social standing, to isolate you, or to vent their negativity without risking a direct confrontation. Their shadow finds an outlet in manipulating the social environment to reflect their internal animosity. The consequence of being unaware of these dynamics is feeling confused, isolated, and potentially having your reputation damaged without understanding why. You might sense a shift in how others treat you but not connect it back to the source. Recognizing these patterns, the subtle badmouthing, the attempts to pit people against each other with you in the middle, the consistent exclusion is crucial. It allows you to see the machinations at play and to understand that the weirdness you observe in the broader social dynamic might be orchestrated by one or a few individuals. This knowledge empowers you to build stronger, more direct relationships with those who are genuine, and to create distance from those who engage in these toxic, behind-the-scenes manipulations. Now let's turn the lens inward for a moment, through a Jungian perspective. When you encounter these patterns of hidden dislike, it's essential to understand that their behavior is often a powerful projection of their own shadow, their unacknowledged insecurities, envies, fears, or past wounds. Your successes might illuminate their perceived failures. Your confidence might trigger their deep-seated insecurities. Your very presence might unknowingly remind them of something or someone they resent. Their weird behavior, their dislike, is less about you as a person and more about what you represent to their unconscious mind. Recognizing this helps to depersonalize the experience. It's not that you are inherently unlikable, it's that you've become a screen upon which they project their inner demons. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it can liberate you from the burden of believing you are the sole cause of their negativity. However, this is also a moment for courageous self-reflection. Are there patterns in the type of people who consistently react to you this way? Sometimes, though not always, our own unhealed wounds or unacknowledged shadow aspects can unconsciously attract or provoke negative reactions from others. For example, if you struggle with valuing yourself, you might unconsciously tolerate disrespect or overlook early warning signs, inviting further negative treatment. If you haven't integrated your own ambition, you might trigger envy in those who are similarly conflicted. This isn't about victim blaming, it's about radical self-awareness and personal responsibility in the ongoing journey of individuation. By doing your own shadow work, by striving for greater wholeness and authenticity, you become less of a hook for others' projections and more resilient to them when they do occur. You learn to discern what is theirs, what is yours, and where the energetic boundary lies. So you've learned to decipher the code, to see beyond the awkward facade to the actual dislike simmering beneath. What now? This knowledge isn't meant to make you cynical or suspicious of everyone. It's meant to make you discerning, to equip you with the tools for self-protection and the cultivation of genuine, healthy relationships. This is about moving from recognition to resilience, about fortifying your inner citadel. First and most critically, trust your intuition. That gut feeling, that sense of energetic dissonance is your most reliable early warning system. Society often teaches us to override our intuition with logic to make excuses for others' bad behavior. Reclaim the wisdom of your instincts. If someone consistently makes you feel drained, uneasy, or diminished, pay attention. That feeling is valid data. Second, observe patterns, not isolated incidents. Anyone can have an off day or make an awkward misstep. Hidden dislike reveals itself through consistent, recurring themes in behavior, the sustained inconsistency, the repeated undermining, the chronic evasion. Start a mental or actual journal. Note down interactions that feel off and the specific behaviors observed. Over time, the patterns will become undeniable. Third, practice strategic disengagement. You are not obligated to invest your precious time and energy in people who subtly or overtly signal their dislike for you. You don't need a dramatic confrontation or a formal breakup with every person who exhibits these behaviors. Often the most powerful response is a quiet, gradual withdrawal of your attention and energy. Match their level of investment or lack thereof. Conserve your resources for those who reciprocate your warmth and respect. Fourth, master the art of boundary setting. Once you recognize these patterns, you need to establish clear, firm boundaries to protect your well-being. This might mean limiting contact, declining invitations, refusing to engage in certain types of conversations, or directly, but calmly addressing a specific undermining behavior if you choose to. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about honoring yourself and teaching others how you expect to be treated. Remember, no is a complete sentence. Fifth, focus on your own individuation and path. Carl Jung's concept of individuation is the lifelong process of becoming your most authentic whole self. The more secure you are in your own identity, your own values, and your own journey, the less affected you will be by the projections and negativity of others. Their dislike becomes their problem, their shadow to contend with, not a reflection on your worth or a distraction from your purpose. Your energy is best spent on your own growth and transformation. Finally, actively cultivate relationships with those who genuinely support and uplift you. Seek out individuals who celebrate your successes, offer constructive support during challenges, and whose presence leaves you feeling energized and seen. These are the connections that nourish your soul and reinforce your value. The stark contrast between these healthy dynamics and the draining interactions with those who harbor hidden dislike will further sharpen your discernment. The journey to understanding and navigating hidden dislike is a crucial part of your personal development. It's about stripping away illusions, both societal and self-imposed. It's about realizing that you don't need everyone to like you, but you absolutely deserve to be treated with respect, and you have the power to discern who is capable of offering that. The truth is, some people will not like you, and sometimes they won't even have the integrity to be open about it. Their weird behavior is the symptom of their internal conflict, their shadow leaking out. By learning to read these subtle signs, the inconsistent engagement, the veiled undermines, the energetic drain, the silent screams of body language, the evasive maneuvers, the poisoned chalice of help, and the whispers and walls of social manipulation, you arm yourself with clarity. This clarity is not a weapon for attack, but a shield for self-preservation. It allows you to protect your energy, to make conscious choices about who you allow into your inner circle, and to stop wasting your life force trying to win over those who are committed to misunderstanding or resenting you. Embrace this knowledge. Let it empower you to walk through the world with greater awareness, to trust your own perceptions, and to build a life surrounded by authenticity and mutual respect. Stop being baffled by the awkwardness that feels like more. You now have the keys to unlock the truth. Use them to protect your peace, to honor your worth, and to continue your journey of transformation with unwavering resolve. You are capable of seeing clearly, and that sight will set you free.